everybody, doing it in the bag here for Team Trilogy. Um, I guess let's get started. So I've got as you can see, got a grip bag. I guess I will, got me a Keen towel here. Got to wipe the sweat off your face, you know, it's kind of humid over here in Texas. Putters. I'll go with my putting putter. It's a Eric McCabe Signature Series Mercy I just picked up recently. It's been pretty good. So far so good. I like it. Hitting the chains pretty well. Nice and grippy, not too bad. Little approach putter, Warden, Fusion Warden. I like it for my longer putting shots. Works pretty well. Has that straight flight. My more approach putters, driver putters also. I've got two harps. I've got a McLean Nightmare Before Discmas stamped harp and a Black Zombie stamped harp. This one here is slightly more overstable off the drive, the approach. This one's got a little bit more, maybe slightly, goes a little bit more straighter. I can get it to turn a little bit. So it's, really love the harp. Great disc. I'll go with my mid-ranges. I've got 5 mid-ranges in the bag. Gotta have the Truth, the EMAC Truth. I've got 3 EMAC Truths. I got a Lucid EMAC Truth. It's it's more beat in, more use. I can get that some good turn out of it. Probably stay on the turn with that anti-shot, or even straight. Throw it flat, gets that turn out of the disc. Got a Moonshine Truth. This one's a little bit more. Throw it flat, still gets a little turn. Slight fade at the end. Really good disc. I like how these fly. Really great. I've got a Peter McBride EMAC Truth fundraiser edition. This one's, I'd say, almost the same as the Moonshine Truth. Maybe slightly a little more overstable. Get a little bit more finish to the left. Still a great disc. I love the EMAC Truth. I've got a Suspect, Lucid Suspect. Flies, I'd say, for me, flies pretty straight. I can get it with a little bit of turn, but usually flies pretty straight. A little fade at the end. Really good disc. Use it off drives. Really good. The beefy disc, the real overstable disc, is the Lucid Justice. This one's real beefy. Real predictable. It's real. It's a good disc to have in the bag. You throw it hard. You try to give it any ante. This thing's gonna fight right back. This one is a little bit more beat in, but I can trust this disc. This disc is still gonna fight back for me. I've got 2 other Justices in a bin, but this one's been my go-to Justice so far. Really great disc, trustworthy. Let's go with some fairways. start with my escapes. Got a AC/DC Battle of the Briars escape here, DD escape. I'd say it's probably maybe fusion plastic. I think it probably a fusion. It's the escape. They're both pretty identical. Straight flyers. Get some ante out of them. Slight fade at the end. The escape is really good. Really good disc for those long straight shots. I probably get a little bit more turn out of them, but to finish a little bit slightly to the right, but it's a good disc. I've got a Triple X, the Latitude 64 Triple X gold line. This one, it's a beefy disc. I like it because I know it's gonna fight back, almost like a farther flying Justice. Really good disc. Get it out there. Doesn't matter. You give it a slight ante, throw it on a hyzer. Really good. It's it's gonna come back. This one's a deco die, gold line deco die. Good disc. Even on the flick, works really well. It's gonna get that fade that you want. Let's see, I've got a misprint Felon, Lucid Felon. This one, it's probably one of my first Trilogy, well, my first DD Trilogy disc. It started off pretty a little beefy, but once I got it beat in, works pretty well. Flies a little straight, it gets a little ante, little turn on the flight, and then fights right back, fades right back. It's a good predictable disc. Love it for the backhand. Good forehand disc as well. Felons are really great. I'm sure everybody has one. Good disc. Let's see, I've got two Explorers. I got the Snowline Explorer and a Next Gen stamped Explorer. I got the Next Gen stamped Explorer from the Next Gen event. I guess you can see with the hat as well. I went to got this, I want to say I got this one, maybe it was another one, but I played in the Next Gen event in Emporia, Kansas. Emporia, Kansas was really fun. Jones East, Jones West, Peter Pan, really great courses. If you haven't hit them up, they're awesome. The Explorer for me flies pretty straight disc. Get some turn, but it does have. I'd say this one's gonna fight a little left. This one will come back a little more than the Escape. Really good disc for the straight shots. The Snowline Explorer is a little bit more stable. You'll still get the straight flight, really good grip. I love the grip on the Snowline disc, but this one will finish a little more. It'll dump a little bit left for me. It's still a good straight shooter with that little fade at the end. I've got 4 Getaways in the bag. The Getaway is an awesome disc. If you don't have one, pick one up. Fell in love with these once I started throwing them. Really great disc. I've got a first run Getaway. I picked this one up It's a 13th annual Blue Moon, probably Blue Moon sponsored, but 2018 4SO. I got a white first run getaway that I've picked up. So I got 2 first run getaways and picked up a Carolina Clash stamped getaway. These discs, this one here is probably my more beat in disc. I'd probably say going from more beat in to a little more stable. You got this first run getaway, a little bit more beat in. You're gonna get the straight flight, little farther flying than the Escape. Well, not the Escape, the Explorer for me. I'm a amateur player. I don't have the big arm like a lot of people do, but for me, the Getaway is a really great disc. Flies, I'd say, almost like an Explorer for me, but you're going to have longer distance and probably a little more fade at the end. I'd say this one here is probably my next disc in line. This one I'll get more turn out of it since it's more beat in. This one it's a more straight shooter. Still slight turn, but it fights back a little quicker. These two still great discs. Get the ante, but these are gonna fight back left a little more than these other two. These will have a little bit more fade to them. The Getaway is an awesome disc, really great disc. I love these. That's why I got 4 of them. Now to my drivers. I've got recently picked up a Raider, Lucid Raider. This one, I'd say you can compare it to a Trespass, but this one I've got a Trespass that turns. It's got a lot more turn than the Raider. The Raider is going to fight back faster than your Trespass. For me, it's still a good long shooting disc. This one's still new. I just recently picked it up. So this one's going to be fighting a little left for me. So really great disc, long distance driver. Really good. I have 2 Enforcers. I've got 2 Enforcers here. One's a Biofusion. Actually, they're both. One's Biofusion. This one here is about my Biofusion. This one I can get. They begin as overstable discs. This one is beat in already. This one I can get more ante out of it. Might even stay, depending on how I throw it. If I don't throw it right, but it's gonna stay. It'll stay on that ante for a good while. It'll probably stay on it. If not, it'll fade a little bit at the end. This one is depending on how much I crank it, it's my more beat in Enforcer. Flies really good, and probably one of my further flying. These are both probably one of my further flying discs in my bag. They're really good and predictable. This one I'll use it on the hyzer shots, the long hyzer shots. Also, distance. Put it on an ante line, let it fade, ante out, fade at the end. Good far flying disc. This one doesn't turn as much as my Biofusion, but I could still get some distance out of this. Use it for the hyzers, the big hyzer shots. Real good. My last disc in the bag. I've got. Well, you know what? I missed a putter. We'll go back to that, I guess. So I've got 3 Ballista Pros. This 2019 Toonie uh, fundraiser disc I just picked up. I just got it actually in the mail today. Threw it a couple times. It's the this fundraiser disc is the recycled plastic. It's a really good disc compared to my other. Uh, I've got a beat-in next gen stamp stamp tourney disc, Ballista Pro, and a Lucid Ballista Pro, the BMO, the glass blown open stamped, 2018 glass blown open. So this one is already wants to fly. So this one here, just still playing with it. It's flying pretty good. It has really good distance for recycled plastic. It's not gonna turn. Well, for me, it you still have the turn fade at the on it as a Ballista Pro, depending on how you throw it and release it. This one is not going to turn as much as my Lucid. My Lucid is a little bit more beat in. It's going to get that turn, that long turn, and depending on the height you give it, it'll have that long turn fade at the end. This one goes. This one will go pretty far if I get it just right. These three are my distance drivers. These are my if I need that distance. Depending on the hole or on how open the hole is. If it's an open field or where you can rip on it, Ballista Pro is the way to go. This is my more beat-in Ballista Pro. This one will give you the full flight, turn, the Annie, fade at the end, good distance. This one I'm still working on. Love the stamp, it's awesome. But it's already in the bag just after throwing it a couple times. It flies really good. Looks like it's going to be a good predictable disc to get that good distance. Little straight, not as much Annie as the Lucid, but still flies just like a Ballista Pro would. Not too overstable, but flies pretty good. This next gen, this one is a little bit more beat in. This one I did not get in the tourney. I recently picked it up. This one's more beat in. It's not as you're not going to get as much turn with this one as you do the Lucid. This one's still you'll get some turn out of it, but this one's going to be fighting back a little more. I'd say it's still pretty stable, but flies pretty good. For me, it's got that good stability, almost enforcer like. Probably if I go with the Fusion Enforcer, I'll still get that long flight out of it, but maybe not as overstable as the Enforcer, but it'll still come back. So it's a good disc. The Ballista Pros are awesome. They're my long drivers. Love those discs. Let's see. I missed a putter. It's a classic soft putter. This one I like to use if I want to try to stick the green. Try to go throw this putter on an approach off the drive. Really good putter, doesn't skip too much, or slide too much. Classic soft Warden. All right. Let's see. So I've got the grip EQ bag. Let's see. Got a pencil here. I'm using the dynamic disc easy cart. Down here I got the little pouches that you can get with the easy cart. Got a couple things stuffed in here. Grip for the handle if it ever falls apart. The dry bags if you need to dry the hand, especially on these sweaty days. You need to get that extra grip on the disc. Got some dry bags in here. Another dynamic disc, camo dry bag, really good. A little powdery, like they throw a lot of powder in the bag in the pouches, so I've got them in Ziploc bags. Plus to help keep them from getting wet. A few golf balls if you need to knock a disc out of the tree. Marker, scorecard. Let's see. This one you want to just put some waters or some sodas. This is the it's got that insulation to try to it helps keep the drinks cold. It won't be all day, but you could throw some cool drinks in here and keep them cool for majority of a round. Throw some ice as well. Love the pouch. Helps me carry some extra waters, especially in this heat now. Let's see. Got a DD canteen here.